To start, of course, we need to start with our biscuit crust. And for that, you need 2½ cups of all-purpose flour. You need 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt. And you need 4 teaspoons of baking powder, not baking soda. Now you want to stir that together. Now you need 6 tablespoons of salted cold butter. You want it to be as cold as you can get it. Cut it into cubes about that size. Now you need to work this in with your fingers, kind of mushing it in until it looks like coarse cornmeal. Now it looks like coarse cornmeal. Now we have 1½ cups of cold milk. You may or may not need it all, so start slow. I'm going to start with about 3/4 of a cup. And I'm going to use my God-given tools. That's my favorite tools. Okay, I ended up using about 1¼ cup of the milk, and you want kind of a wet dough. You don't want it super sticky, but you want it kind of wet and feeling a little tacky under your fingers. Now we have a 13×9 glass baking dish. I've sprayed it with cooking spray. Now you want to take your biscuit blob and you want to just push it down to the corners and push it just a little ways up the sides. Now you may want to flour your fingers a little bit. It may help a little. Now it's patted all evenly in the bottom and just about 1 inch up the sides. That way it makes a nice crust. Now you want to pop this in to a 375-degree preheated oven, and you want to let it get nice and almost done. You will start to see maybe a little bit of browning, but not much. But you want to touch it and feel that it's kind of springy. Now while your crust is baking, you want to make this delicious topping that has all things good in it. It has 1 cup of sour cream. I would recommend using full fat sour cream because low fat may not work in this. 2/3 of a cup of mayonnaise. I recommend a good mayonnaise. We only use Duke's in this house. Now you want a good pinch of salt, or 2. Some fresh cracked black pepper, and a good sprinkle of granulated garlic, just season with your heart. Now we're going to mix these together. You don't have to be crazy mixing it all together because you're going to add something else. Now I'm going to add about 2 cups of sharp, finely shredded cheddar cheese. It does immensely better if you shred it yourself, but whatever cranks your tractor. Now didn't I tell you this is all the good things? Now you want to mix this thoroughly. Now let's start to assemble this bad boy. Because our crust is now done. It's almost done. There's still probably a little bit of doughiness. It baked for about 10 to 12 minutes. And as you can see, it's nice and puffed. And now I have fried up 1 pound of lean ground beef. This is 85/15. You can use whatever you like, but I recommend something leaner. You want to spread this all over the top. It was just seasoned with just simple salt and pepper. Now I am using a slotted spoon to get it out of the pan. If you don't want to use a slotted spoon, you will need to drain the grease off because you don't want the grease in this. Now we have about 1 cup of chopped green bell pepper that I've chopped small. You can use less if you don't like green pepper that much, or you can use red pepper if you prefer red peppers. You can use red peppers, but it will add a little bit of a sweeter flavor to this. You just want a good layer. These have been seasoned with salt and pepper because you don't want this tasting bland, so you want to season every layer. Now we have beautiful homegrown tomatoes. I do highly recommend fresh tomatoes for this, not the store-bought rubber ones, but either ones you've grown yourself or gotten at a farmer's market. It doesn't matter what kind. It can be yellow, it can be red, it can be whatever. Just layer a good layer on there. You want them about that thick. And I have seasoned these with salt and pepper. And I'm just going to layer them on here. Make sure you cover every inch of the beef and peppers. Now we've got our tomatoes laid out. Every inch is covered. Now we're going to bring in this beautiful topping that we made. And we are going to start dolloping it on. And if you're thinking, this is a lot like a tomato pie. Yes, this is a lot like a southern tomato pie, but it makes it into an entire meal and takes it up by about 1,000 levels by having a biscuit crust. Now you want to spread this around and spread it out to the edges. Now it may get a little slippery when it gets on top of the tomatoes, but do your best to cover everything well. Now once it's all spread out like this and all gorgeous, because this is gorgeous, we are going to sprinkle it with a little bit of sweet paprika. Don't go crazy with it. Just put a nice little coating on. like that. Now we're gonna throw it back into our 375-degree oven and let it bake until it's nice and bubbly and the cheese is starting to melt. Now after just 25 to 30 minutes in the oven, this beautiful, delicious meal is done. Now you want to leave it sit for about 5 minutes or so, 5 to 10 minutes, so that it has time to set up well and so you don't burn your pie hole.
Look at this beautiful bite. I'm so excited because I love this stinking meal. It's so good. It's so good. Just full of flavor. Great usage of our fresh tomatoes and fresh peppers. I adore it so much. And the beautiful thing about this for us is that it's 2-night meal. It's actually it might actually be more we can eat in 2 nights, to be honest with you. But Angela cooks once and we get to eat twice off of it. And we grew the vegetables for this one. It's so good. And it's got Duke's mayonnaise, even better, right? But Angela K can really cook, y'all.